As a project manager, it is important to recognize that there are specific project phases, also called project process groups. We're going to take a look at those today, in addition to 10 knowledge areas. This is the framework that Project Management Institute uses, and it also aligns with the Project Management Body of Knowledge, the PMBOK 6th edition. I'm Kandis Porter. I am the founder and managing director of Effective Flow Connections. I focus on project management consulting, and I also teach project management. I have a Master of Science in Project Management, and I am a certified PMP since 2011. I want to make sure that we are aligned on the definition of a project and make sure that we're able to separate it from daily operations. A project is temporary, so it has a clear start date and end date, and it's undertaken to create a unique product or service which brings about beneficial change. Again, separate this from daily operations in your mind. Something that could be daily operations: if every month you produce a financial report for your department and you're going to do that forever and ever and ever, think of that as daily operations, where you think of the project as actually moving towards meeting specific objectives. Temporary will come to an end and produces beneficial change or added value. I mentioned what we will be covering today aligns with the Project Management Institute's Project Management Body of Knowledge, also known as the PMBOK. If you're interested in looking at or pursuing your project management professional certification, you're going to want to get very familiar with this. This is what is used for the PMP certification exam. You want to know it inside and out. It's a very thick book, hundreds of pages, and it's really valuable information, not just for preparing for the certification exam, but it offers a lot of tools and techniques that you can use for day-to-day project management. Now let's take a look at the project life cycle. It's important to note that each project goes through certain phases in order to get to those deliverables. Usually a project comes about to, one, address challenges. So we're trying to create a solution or solve a problem. Two, because there's an opportunity, possibly an opportunity for growth. So challenges or opportunities is generally what initiates a project. Therefore, there may be some legwork that has been done prior to the initiation of a project. First phase, initiating processes. This is where you will create the project charter and make sure you're crystal clear on what you expect that project to deliver. What does success look like? Once you are aligned on that, you move into the planning processes. In the planning processes, you will create a project management plan. That is going to define exactly how you will execute the project. You'll also create your project schedule in the planning processes or planning phase. From there, you move on to execution. This is where you start executing the work. You start doing the work to work towards those deliverables. You will see that the planning processes and executing processes are iterative. And that's because there is no doubt that there will be changes that come about to your plan. No plan is ever perfect. And so you will need to go back to the drawing board to account for those changes. How do they affect the scope? How do they affect the schedule? How do they affect the cost? While you're doing that, you're going to be monitoring and controlling. So monitoring and controlling aligns with the executing processes. Once you have those deliverables, you are going to move into the closing processes. This is where the project is coming to a close, and you are going to make sure that those deliverables are handed over to the end user. And this is also the point where you will archive all of your project records to include your final lessons learned. Lessons learned are great to capture along the way. And then it's always really great to take a look at your project in its entirety during the closing phase to say, one, what did we do really well? And two, what could we have done better? So these are the 5 project phases, also known as the 5 processes: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling, and closing. PMBOK also includes 10 knowledge areas. These are things that you want to think about during the entire life cycle of your project. Integration management, scope management, schedule management, cost management, quality management, resource management, communication management, risk management, procurement management, and stakeholder management. We are now going to take a look at what it looks like whenever you bring the 5 process groups together along with the 10 knowledge areas. This is the framework here, so you will see the 10 knowledge areas down the left-hand side, and you will see the 5 process groups or project management process groups along the top. When you actually look at the processes that should be accomplished in each of those phases, it looks like this. In the initiating phase, you'll see you develop the project charter and you identify stakeholders. The planning phase, you can see there's a lot of work, a lot of processes in this phase. If you make sure that you develop a solid plan, then the execution, monitoring, controlling, and closing should be that much easier. So planning, the main deliverable that comes out of here is the project management plan to include your project schedule. And in order to get to those, you will see all of the different steps or processes that fall in each of the knowledge area. For example, scope management, plan scope management, collect requirements, define scope, create a work breakdown structure. That's an example of the processes that fall within scope management. Same for executing the work. Here's the different processes that should be followed: monitoring and the closing phase. That is all we are going to cover today. Again, we wanted to make sure that we introduced you to the 5 process groups, often referred to as phases, and the 10 knowledge areas that are clearly defined within Project Management Institute's PMBOK 6th edition. Great foundation for project managers, in addition to being the information that is included in the PMP certification exam. I'm Kandis Porter. Please comment below to let me know what you're interested in learning more about. And if you enjoyed this, I would love it if you can subscribe to this channel. Have a great day.